You think your ancestors were gentle cave dwellers who painted on walls and discovered fire? Think again. Early humans were apex predators who made modern horror films look like bedtime stories. They didn't just survive the Ice Age, they dominated it. While saber-toothed cats and dire wolves ruled the night, humans were the ones they feared. We're talking about beings who could track a single animal for days without rest, who could throw spears with the force of a bullet, and who looked at a woolly mammoth, a creature the size of a house, and said, "Dinner." These weren't your gentle farmers. These were persistence hunters, endurance machines built for one purpose: to chase, to kill, and to conquer. And by the time they were done, nearly every Megafauna species on Earth had vanished. This is the story of humanity's most terrifying chapter.
Let me tell you about persistence hunting. It's the most terrifying hunting technique ever evolved, and humans perfected it. Picture this. You're a gazelle on the African savanna. You're fast, really fast. You can outrun almost anything. Then you see them. A group of humans, barely clothed, covered in sweat and dirt. You run. You're twice as fast as they are. Easy escape, right? But here's the horror. They don't stop. You run for an hour. You're exhausted. You look back. They're still there. Still walking. Still coming. You run again. 2 hours pass. 3 hours. 4 hours. Your body temperature is spiking. You're overheating. You need shade. But they just sweat. They're cooling down as they walk. Hour 6, you collapse. Your legs won't move. And then they arrive. Not even breathing hard. They've been tracking your footprints in the dirt for 6 hours straight. And now you're meat.
If you're enjoying this terrifying journey through human history, hit that like button and subscribe, because it gets even darker from here.
But it wasn't just endurance that made early humans terrifying. It was their weapons. Humans were the first species to master projectile warfare. Think about that. Every predator before them had to get close, bite range, claw range. But humans, they could kill from 50 feet away. The atlatl, a spear-throwing device, could launch a projectile at 93 miles per hour. That's faster than a major league fastball, and they were accurate. Archaeological evidence shows humans could hit a target the size of a dinner plate from 30 yards away. Imagine being a cave bear. You've never seen a human before. You're the apex predator. Then suddenly, something punches through your chest. You don't even see where it came from. You're bleeding out, confused, terrified, and in the distance, barely visible, is a creature standing on 2 legs, already loading another spear.
And this brings us to the most horrifying fact of all. Wherever humans went, megafauna went extinct. This isn't a coincidence. Around 50,000 years ago, humans left Africa and spread across the world. Australia had giant kangaroos, massive wombats, and carnivorous lizards 20 feet long. Within a few thousand years of human arrival, all gone. North America had woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, dire wolves, and short-faced bears. Humans arrived 15,000 years ago. Within 2,000 years, extinct. New Zealand had massive flightless birds called moa, some 12 feet tall. Humans arrived around 1300 AD. By 1445, just 145 years later, every single moa was dead. Scientists call this the quaternary extinction event. I call it what it was: systematic extermination. Humans didn't just survive, they eliminated the competition. So what made humans so unstoppable? It wasn't just physical, it was cognitive. Early humans had something no other predator possessed: advanced planning. They could think days, weeks, even months ahead. They studied animal behavior. They knew migration patterns. They knew where herds would be before the herds knew. They created sophisticated traps, pitfalls, deadfalls, snares. Animals would walk into an area that looked perfectly safe, and suddenly the ground would collapse. But here's the really scary part. They learned to use psychology. Humans would deliberately set fires to drive animals toward cliffs.
They'd stampede entire herds off ledges, hundreds of animals dead in minutes. They weren't just hunters, they were tacticians, military strategists, and every other species on Earth was just prey.
Early humans also had something most predators didn't: complex communication. They could coordinate like no other species. Wolves hunt in packs, sure, but human hunting parties could number in the dozens, even hundreds. They used language to share information instantly. The mammoth went north. It's wounded. Circle around the canyon. This wasn't instinct. This was real-time tactical adjustment. And they passed down knowledge. A successful hunting technique would be taught to the next generation, improved, perfected. Within a few generations, humans went from scavengers to the most efficient killing machines the planet had ever seen. Other predators had to learn everything themselves. Humans? They stood on the shoulders of giants. Every generation was smarter, deadlier than the last. Evolution in fast forward.
And here's something that'll keep you up at night. Neanderthals. They were stronger than us, tougher, better adapted to the cold. But when Homo sapiens arrived in Europe around 45,000 years ago, Neanderthals had been thriving there for 300,000 years. Within 5,000 years of human arrival, Neanderthals were extinct. What happened? The evidence suggests we happened. There are signs of violence, interbreeding, yes, but also conflict. Humans had better weapons, better communication, better organization. We outcompeted them for resources. We pushed them into marginal territories. And when they couldn't adapt fast enough, they vanished. We didn't just conquer animals. We conquered other human species.
But perhaps the most terrifying weapon in early human arsenal wasn't a spear. It was fire. Humans mastered fire over 400,000 years ago. And once they did, they became gods. Fire gave them warmth in the Ice Age. It gave them protection from predators. But they didn't stop there. They weaponized it. Humans would set entire forests ablaze to flush out prey. They'd burn grasslands to promote new growth, essentially terraforming the landscape to attract herds. Cave bears, saber-toothed cats, dire wolves all feared fire instinctively. But humans, they carried it in their hands. Imagine being a predator at night. You rely on darkness. Then these creatures appear, holding miniature suns. The night was no longer yours. It belonged to them.
Early humans didn't just hunt animals, they fought each other, and this made them even more dangerous. Evidence of prehistoric warfare goes back at least 10,000 years. Mass graves with arrow wounds, skulls crushed by clubs, defensive fortifications around settlements. Humans learned to kill not just for food, but for territory, for resources, for dominance. And here's what's truly disturbing. Cooperation within groups created competition between groups. The better humans got at working together, the better they got at organized violence. They developed tactics, formations, weapons specifically designed to kill other humans. The spear that took down a mammoth? It worked even better on a rival tribe. Evolution wasn't just making better hunters, it was creating warriors.
What truly separated humans from every other predator was their ability to solve problems. When they encountered an obstacle, they didn't give up, they innovated. Need to cross a river? Build a raft. Need to reach high fruit? Create a ladder. Need to kill a mammoth without getting trampled? Dig a pit trap. This problem-solving ability meant humans could adapt to any environment. Deserts, they found water. Arctic tundra, they made clothing from animal skins. Dense forests, they cleared them. Mountain ranges, they crossed them. No other species could survive in such diverse habitats. Lions, only in certain climates. Polar bears, only in the Arctic. But humans,
From the Arctic Circle to equatorial rainforest to island paradises, they conquered every single ecosystem on Earth.
Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: human resilience. Early humans could survive injuries that would kill other animals. Broken bones. Archaeological evidence shows they healed and the person survived. Infections that would be fatal to most species, humans developed immune responses. They lived through famines, through droughts, through ice ages. And not just survived, they thrived. A human could go days without food and still hunt effectively. They could survive on the most meager resources, roots, insects, anything. While other predators specialized, humans became opportunistic omnivores. This meant when one food source disappeared, they simply switched to another. They were unkillable, the ultimate survivors.
So what's the legacy of early humans? Total planetary dominance. By 10,000 years ago, humans were the only apex predators left on most continents. We'd eliminated the competition. And we didn't stop there. We invented agriculture. We built cities. We created civilizations. All because our ancestors were the most terrifying predators to ever walk the earth. That persistent hunter who chased prey for 8 hours, that's why you can run a marathon. That weapon maker who engineered better spears, that's why you can solve complex problems. That tactical thinker who planned ambushes, that's why you can strategize and plan. Every advantage you have, every capability you possess, comes from ancestors who were absolutely nightmare-inducing. So the next time someone says humans are weak, defenseless creatures, remember this. We're not at the top of the food chain because we're gentle. We're here because we were the most ruthlessly effective killers this planet has ever seen. And that's the truth about early humans.
You are the descendant of the most terrifying hunters to ever exist. Like and subscribe to never forget that.